I saw this movie in a double feature with 50 Shades of Grey. Guess which movie I liked more? The SpongeBob SquarePants movie, Sponge Out of Water, is the second SpongeBob movie. The first one came out like 2004, 2005. I wasn't even 10 years old when that came out. Wow. 16 years that show's been on. I'm older than that show, but barely. I've been watching that show since I was like 5 years old. I love SpongeBob. That show is awesome. And the one thing, before anything else I gotta credit, is this movie made me go back right after watching it. I went home and started watching old episodes of SpongeBob. In this movie, Plankton's trying to steal the Krabby Patty formula as usual, but things change this time. Things go weird, different. You get Bikini Bottom collapses into Mad Max-like proportions. There's time travel. There's an awesome dolphin character, which I won't talk about. And there's a pirate played by Antonio Banderas, who's sort of creating this whole story because he's got a magic book that as he writes, he's changing the story. SpongeBob and the rest of them go out of water to the CGI land briefly. And yeah, this is the second movie. I'm gonna rewatch the first one, review that, because I remember loving the first SpongeBob movie, loving it a whole lot, and I was going to this one like, I don't know, the trailers, the poster, I don't want like an hour and a half of CGI SpongeBob. I was really upset about it. I'm like, no, I love the classic hand-drawn animation. I don't want them to just CGI the shit out of SpongeBob. It's gonna suck. And I came out of this movie so pleasantly surprised and happy. First off, this movie is about 90% hand-drawn animation. This movie's about an hour and a half long, 90 minutes, and for the first hour, 10 minutes, give or take, it's all hand-drawn animation, beautiful, on the big screen. I felt like I was watching a really long episode of SpongeBob on the big screen. I was so happy because I love that animation, and then the little end bit is in CGI. I'm like, oh good, I don't have to deal with a whole bunch of the CGI. I get classic SpongeBob in the hand-drawn animation that I love, and honestly should be in more movies. Whatever happened to hand-drawn animation, people? And not to mention, this movie is just plain awesome. I love SpongeBob, and this is great SpongeBob humor. It harkens back a little bit to like the earlier seasons. I've only seen the earlier seasons, I think. Like 99 to, what was it, around 2005, and then I think after that they started getting a little less edgy, because SpongeBob actually was kind of an edgy show. It was one of those old Nickelodeon shows that was kind of edgy, awesome animation, and I loved it for that. And this movie reminded me a lot of that. It reminded me why I love SpongeBob, and I had to go home and watch episodes of it. I was like, I freaking love SpongeBob. Yes. This movie's just so enjoyable. If you don't like SpongeBob, don't see this movie because, yeah, you just won't like it. The SpongeBob humor is silly, dumb fun, and I love it so much. I love that show, and I really, really love this movie. There's things I don't necessarily like about it. Like Antonio Banderas' whole involvement in the movie is kind of whatever for me. And like, he was good, but he didn't even really feel that needed. I love SpongeBob's sense of humor, and this movie just reminded me so much of it. So yeah, it revitalized my love for SpongeBob. It'll revitalize yours if you haven't seen it in a while and love SpongeBob. Hopefully it does the same for you. Because it can be outright funny, it can be silly funny, and sometimes like the more subtle humor, and maybe subtle is the wrong word. An object gets thrown or something, then in the far background you just hear a guy like, my leg, and stuff like that. Like just little things even. I really was entertained by this movie a whole lot. It was really fun. I loved that the movie, a lot of it is a camaraderie between SpongeBob and Plankton, which is a new thing. I enjoyed that. And yeah, the dolphin, I can't really talk about, but there's a dolphin character, and that was my favorite part of the movie when they did that. I'm like, ah, that is awesome. It felt so SpongeBob to me. I was like, that's great. I love that. SpongeBob movie, Sponge Out of Water. I enjoyed it, as you can tell. I'm just gushing over this movie. I enjoyed this movie a whole lot. I would give it an A-, and because of that, I'm gonna go check out the original SpongeBob movie. It came out on Netflix just a while ago, I think, so I'm gonna watch that, review that for you guys. And if you've seen this movie, comment below, tell me what you thought of it. What do you think of SpongeBob? And thanks for watching. I'll see you guys later.